So this is an example of how to quickly get a strong grasp of how to sell position your products, your offers. And while this is for another supplement, this really does lend itself to any offer including beauty devices or skincare supplements. So a freaking iPad. It doesn't matter as long as you know what the mechanism is and therefore what the truth is, how to hook people with your positioning. So, right here, you're just seeing Claude give me just an idea of what this is. It didn't actually even really look it up, and I didn't catch it at first, so I left the mistake in here. Now, these are positioning points. So, antibiotics. Everybody's taking an antibiotic. So, if you have gas, diarrhea, constipation, you can't eat something without it hurting, I can trace all of that to antibiotics. And if you've taken rounds of antibiotics before without the replenishing these critical good bacteria and the prebiotics, the fuel for those good bacteria, or the enzymes that break down the food you eat, so that those foods aren't fermenting in your gut and feeding candida, bad bacteria. We're focusing on bad bacteria in this case. Looking so bloated, you look pregnant, constipation, SIBO, leaky gut, hyperpermeability. This is talking about how a lot of people don't actually believe this is real. It's real. Your small intestine is permeable so that digested food can get into the bloodstream. What happens when your gut has too many bad bacteria on your gut wall, candida on your gut wall, eating holes in it, creating hyperpermeability? So undigested food can get into the bloodstream. These are not things that should be contested with smart people actually investigating this stuff on the planet. Yet here we are still trying to convince certain doctors hyperpermeability exists. Blows my mind. But there's positioning opportunity there, especially go after boomers. You were told your whole life leaky gut wasn't real. Now we know it is. Okay? And that could also get into assimilation. If your gut is leaky, you're not getting nutrients from your food. So you can't get energy, you can't, age healthfully. Okay, now I want to go down here. That's what she said. I asked for circumstances. And so, the summer's coming up. So I want my summer body. But I look 9 months pregnant, 6 months pregnant after eating a bowl of pasta. So I want to use that circumstance to be what makes me want to eat that bowl of pasta while still being flat so I can go out without a shirt in the sun and go play and not feel self-conscious. Same with the vacation idea. Same with the wedding season. Any event to look forward to. I ate garbage all weekend. You want that thing that makes it okay to eat garbage all weekend. Just like if you're taking, I think Ozempic, yeah, if you're taking Ozempic, you are going to have side effects. Let's deal with those side effects so that you can keep taking Ozempic. So these are the circumstances that are mere neuronable. People can see themselves as that person. These aren't getting in the archetypes yet. That's a whole other conversation, or part of the conversation. So I asked for opening lines, kind of got a few that were okay. I put in my own, and then got more. Now here is where I was like, oh, wait a second. You don't actually know everything that's in this yet, do you? Because it gave me only 2 bacteria two digestive enzymes. I'm just like, wait a second. And so you can see, this is how I talk to Claude. Claude probably doesn't like me very much. So we got now the full spectrum of ingredients. And so here, I'm getting an idea of how I can position each ingredient. So you need this enzyme. You could be like doing a content style TikTok shop video. You need this enzyme to break down greasy foods. You need this enzyme to break down proteins. You need this enzyme to break down carbs. So, and then they're all in this, right? So when you start focusing on how you use Claude and start researching, now granted, I know a lot of this stuff. And so I'm able to prompt it in ways that a lot of you don't. And so my process is faster. I also know how to spot bullshit. And that's why I left the mistake in there, or the fact that it didn't actually audit the full product and I didn't catch that right away because I had an agenda to do this video. But then I caught it, and it created opportunities, you can see here, to get more specific about the mechanism and how each ingredient can help me with my anti-bloat positioning, right? The bloat positioning, the looking pregnant, the gas, the accumulation of waste, rotting, feeding bad bacteria as they continue eating holes in your gut, right? There's a rabbit hole that I can go into in a video. A bowl of pasta used to put me in sweatpants. I had no idea the food was just sitting there rotting because my gut couldn't break it down. Now I could say that in a bunch of different ways, like that needs to be copy cheap, but that has potential. So I put that back in after that. Okay, so I corrected it. Now I drink one daily and feel nothing. I said, now I drink one daily and still stay flat. Okay. So then it gave me more. Greasy takeout used to bloat me till bedtime and sit heavy the whole time. Now I eat the whole order and feel fine because the fat actually gets digested. Well, that sentence is all kinds of messed up, but again, easy to copy, chief. A plate of spaghetti used to put me in sweatpants for the night because the carbs, or I could say, eating a bowl of spaghetti used to bloat me 6 months. I looked 6 months pregnant. Now I can eat that bowl of pasta and stay flat, mostly flat. However it is, I want to say it based on what's actually true. I'm taking it and it does actually help. I'm not going to take my shirt off. Okay, so it gives me, and then I get into archetypes. So the afraid to eat. The person who just, their stomach hurts every time they eat something. Wake up flat. By nighttime, you're bloated. Let's say you wanted to combine that with, I'm going on a date tonight. Got a date tonight, but you deal with nighttime bloat? Right there. Your positioning now has impact. And because I have, like a chef, all of the ingredients in front of me, I know how to combine them to create meals or ads, funnels, that are going to convert, that are going to do well on the ad side and convert on the landing page side. So the bathroom mapper, somebody who's always like trying to stay aware of where bathrooms are around them because they get explosive diarrhea. I could, incorporate that with IBS or leaky gut. I could use antibiotics as the symbol for how they got there, why you're constantly mapping, and why you need to, completely recolonize your gut and fuel the good bacteria and starve out the bad bacteria. So, there's just an example of how I quickly get the copy. So if I want to make a video right now, you need this enzyme to eat meat. You need this enzyme to eat carbs. You need this enzyme to eat fried foods. You need this bacteria to have to not have leaky gut. You need this bacteria to look your best in your bathing suit this summer. And it's all in this one supplement. You could spend a fortune on all of these different ingredients, but you got your pre, your pro, and your postbiotics in one supplement from Micro Ingredients. 40 strains, all 5 of the main enzymes. I have been struggling with carbs my whole life. I used to eat a bowl of pasta and look 6 months pregnant. Now I can eat a bowl of pasta and stay pretty much flat. I used to be the guy that would be flat in the morning, but be completely bloated by the evening time. And if I ever had a date or something like that, I was so self-conscious, sometimes I would even cancel. Now I don't have to worry about it because I can still eat whatever I want now and not look pregnant by the end of the day. So, you can just start imagining what the ads would be, or you can get into the advertorial. Let's say you were doing the antibiotics. So antibiotic use has destroyed our guts. I mean, it's literally taking around antibiotics is like dropping an atomic bomb. So these are not just the probiotics, the good bacteria, but the prebiotics and postbiotics that we need to recolonize the gut after antibiotic use, after dropping an atomic bomb on our gut. That's why we have gas all the time, why we bloat all the time, why we're not digesting our food and it's just rotting, why we're not assimilating nutrients and we feel and look malabsorbed, why we're not building muscle, why we're losing collagen, why we're aging too fast. All of these things start in the gut. And when you take antibiotics and drop the atomic bomb on the gut, it makes all of these things harder to do. But now we can establish healthy gut health even from ground zero.
That's a completely different positioning, and it's stronger because it's true and it unites all the fragmented complaints into one cause. The atomic bomb frame is perfect because it explains why someone might feel fine on the antibiotic and then fall apart after it's done. Here's how I break down what you just said into the positioning architecture for this angle. The hidden enemy. Antibiotics. Not bad bacteria. Not your fault, not your food. The medical system gave you a nuke that killed everything, including the army that was keeping you alive.
So you can see that it, spit out a bunch of ideas, just trying to riff with me. Oh, that's an even better idea. You're so smart. Yes, thank you, Mr. AI. But you can see just by having, like a chef in the kitchen, all the ingredients in front of me and then breaking them down in a way that I can understand. I didn't even do this. Break down all the ingredients into their heuristic puzzle pieces. And this is just going to help me understand more about how I can position my product using the supplement, using all of the different positioning points, circumstances, hooks that are going to cause maximum self-identification and be the reason, wow, everything's tied to that. Or, I used antibiotics as the example. I could use the standard American diet. I could say the crap in our meat. Overly processed foods. Ultra processed, and those chemicals have completely destroyed our gut, causing hyperpermeability. Excuse me. So you can see that, and then breaking it down like this, just gives me more, as that chef, ingredients to create the perfect appetizer, entree, and dessert, or ads, landing page, upsells, etc. I'd love to know what you guys think. Again, I'm going to take some of this and start shooting some videos. And if you have any questions about how I organize or how you can organize using this copy prompting, context, style, training of AI, do let me know in the comments. You can check out copyprompting.com.